What's up, everyone? My name's Chris Marshall with my boy Frank G. We are the hosts of Build the Empire podcast. Frank G, tell the people what we do.
What's going on, everybody? Chris and I, we discuss established empires while showcasing us building ours.
Frank G, another day. Life
Another
is
dollar.
good. Facts. More money, more problems. Facts. This is episode 125. Facts. Anyone who is listening, we appreciate you. 125 episodes. That's a long time, man.
That is a long time to be consistent. It's been a journey. It's fun, and we love being here for you guys.
Frank G, we
Yes,
got to
sir.
go down this rabbit hole. We got to go down here.
Uh-oh. What do we got?
Now, we went down here prior to the show, I suppose, but fantasy football, and
It's
well,
back.
it is back. But what's interesting is how people react in fantasy football, would you say?
I mean, it definitely tests people's patience, tries people's relationships. It's
I
it's
just received a death
competitive
threat,
sport.
my friend.
A death threat. A death
Not
threat.
even, I wouldn't even say it was a death threat, but a wish upon illness, I suppose.
That's somewhat, I guess. Yeah, it's like a wishful death threat kind of thing. I don't know. The person's not going to kill you themselves, I guess that means.
There was no threat involved. It just was not nice,
They just wished death upon you.
essentially, or like horrendous suffering.
I gotta be honest. That might be someone who takes fantasy football a little too far.
So what I think it is, and for the listeners out there that don't know, we are currently, I'm in two leagues, one of which my co-host is my co-team manager.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
get into that league, but I'm in one league and I play a role of heel. I am a complete and utter douchebag from A to Z, from 1 through infinity. I am that asshole. I like to think it's WWE and I am the heel.
So you claim it at least.
100% I claim it. I get real low, but I also only start shit or dish out shit to anyone who opens their mouth to me in a negative fashion. Anyone who has no problem with me, I have no problem with them. You're not in this.
So I got no issues with shit talking when it comes to fantasy football. But you say you get real low. Now, do you get low below the belt like a death threat or a death wish? Because that's
I
a little
will
too
never
low.
do that. But I mean, I
But
can go pretty low, I suppose. But I don't wish harm on anyone, especially when it's a jokingly fashion, at least from my end, right? Like I'm having the, I said earlier, 95% of the entertainment in the league is playing this role.
It makes it exciting. It makes it fun. But it certainly sucks if you lose.
Oh,
Then everyone's on your ass.
Oh man, it's a very hard role to play.
Well, that's because it's probably a lonely role.
It is certainly lonely. I feel like I'm at the top, hated by everyone, because as low as I can get and as rude and as mean and as just douchebaggery as possible, like showing your stock portfolio in the chat along with a commission check, that's pretty low. But what I noticed is that makes people feel some type of way.
Of course it does, because now that's bringing outside things into fantasy football. You're taking a non-fantasy thing.
I'm taking their money. I took all their money year after year.
All right, hold on though. Was the context made that thanks for the winnings, this has helped my portfolio? Or was the context, here's my portfolio, you broke bitch?
The context of why I brought out my portfolio is because one of the members in the league was saying how I'm stupid as fuck and I don't make no money and I'm a drug dealer. So I sent him my portfolio to showcase I'm pretty smart and intelligent. And I think my portfolio has better returns than yours does. And you're like a portfolio manager. And then I showed my paycheck to show the legality of my legal cash flow.
It certainly gets more personal and deeper when you're pretty much in someone's profession, telling them that you could do a better job than them.
I said that today. That's part of the low blow, and the kid left the chat. He's like, I make more money than you. I just don't show it. I'm like, and what does he do? He manages ETFs. So I then stated how you could just download Acorns to take his job. I'm like, there's no way he makes 6 figures. He makes $80K plus a bonus and a Christmas dinner. And he got very angry and upset.
I almost just spit out my water.
He got very angry and upset.
Um, well, he obviously left the chat. I mean, well, there's two reasons you either leave the chat. One, you're trying to be above the shit talk, and it's shit talk that really is not pertaining to football. Like you could say, I hope, I don't know, I hope you all do something with bad playing or like your players getting hurt, not like the person or someone's
Well, I
financials.
said that too. I mean, he kept being racist towards me and saying I text
Racist.
like, yeah, he kept saying that my text was, as someone in the hood, right?
Jesus.
And I tried stating how, someone in the hood who is uninterested in fantasy football could manage a roster better than he can. I mean, like that.
Well, I mean, I think that comeback is perfectly safe, perfectly.
I feel like
healthy.
We had the same episode a year ago. We
probably
were discussing these same points.
We probably did. I mean, it is fantasy football time. Preseason is almost over. Season's almost started. I mean, it makes sense. I just think people who don't. So it is a witty thing to be good at comebacks. So if you don't,
I'm very good at it.
Yeah. So to be honest, and you could clip it and show them, that is a form of intelligence. That shows you have intelligence. If you were able to be like witty, you have intelligence.
Yes. And I think people are mad that I'm such a douchebag and witty and arrogant and pompous, and I play the role. I play the fucking role. That's it. That's it. And now you can say outside cash, right? Doesn't mean anything to it. But when you're playing the role, you have to play where it irks people. Now, family and wishing death upon people is off limits to me.
I mean, yes, you got to irk people, but I would say you don't want to irk them to like a personal level. They
want to kill me?
Not a personal level.
I mean, it could get pretty personal, but at the end of the day, when I shut that group chat off, I'm not worried about it. It's not my true persona. I'm literally playing a character. That's it. That's that. But let me tell you, people hate me.
I got to be honest. If I just sat them down and gave them like a PowerPoint on how to deal with this, there would probably be no more like shit talking and frustration.
You would probably get me to be totally moot.
Oh man, I mean, to be honest, they're silly if they really wanted to stop, just silly for interacting with it. But it does make fun to hear it when you're not involved in it.
Yeah. So much so that the shit talking in that league spills over to shit talking in our league where I'm totally silent and people are not even in my other league talking shit. Makes no sense.
There's a network of a warning with your name on it every time fantasy football starts. And then whoever's in this chat knows how you play.
Which is hilarious because I typically back it up. I mean, I've told every girl I've ever dated that I want to be remembered as one of the greatest fantasy football players of all time.
Yeah, did you say that recently?
I've said it to a couple of women.
Yeah, it's weird how like it's.
I have said it recently.
I figured.
Yeah, you're a jerk off.
If fantasy football is currently happening, I figured that you have said that. But it is funny how serious people take it. It's funny how many people do it. I guess. I mean, I loved football when I used to play it. I love fantasy football. Granted, took me a while to get good at it.
Have you ever won?
I've been to the ship twice, and I have not won. But I was smart to split the money. I'm
glad you learned those tactics, kid.
However, for some reason in my other league, the commissioner is having a pushback from splitting the money this year. And to me,
I have a problem with that.
That is absurd. I have a problem with his problem, pretty much.
I don't know why that's a problem. And this does happen. Like my league was opposed to that until recently.
It just doesn't make sense. It's you're not involved in it. There's still a league winner. If the two people at the top want to split the cash, there's still someone who could still gloat a little bit more. Well,
see then, but then you could do what I've done back in the day is just make deals with like 5 people this way I come across breaking even no matter what.
Well, are you gonna come across someone in like? Are you saying like people who? It's not the end yet. You don't know who's gonna be in first or second.
Yeah, so I just cut deals with like 4 other people, so I made some money. It's like, all right, I'll give you league feedback if you win, and if I win, I'll give you league fee.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure my commissioner was not happy that I split it last time. He took like 3 months to give me my money, and the first rule
I still haven't gotten my money.
well, to be fair, that's not even to be fair. To That's just fucked up. That don't make any sense. I wouldn't even probably be back in that league.
I mean, I know it comes back around.
It comes back around, but not when the person wants it to. It should come back around when you want it to.
Well, what's strange is they keep claiming that it's cash on the dresser.
I
And
know.
I'm
I
just
heard.
like,
I heard
I'm
that.
just like, it doesn't make sense. Cash is almost at this point like obsolete.
No, yeah. Not many people are carrying cash. So like,
So
you have
just Venmo
Venmo,
me that.
you have Venmo, you have Cash App, you have Zelle. Like, what are you doing?
Just
It,
Venmo me that.
it's a weird excuse. It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, and mind you, it was $600. The league fee is $300, so they kept $300 this year. I mean, next year I technically don't have to pay. So I know it comes back around, unless I guess I win this league this year. Then like I'm just in deeper shit.
As in,
Like,
you have more money that they're in debt to you from.
yeah, I feel like I'm getting a shit talking fee. And you know what? You can fee me, damn it. Keep $50. I don't even care.
Yeah, not the whole innings though.
No,
I just need something.
Yeah. Come on.
To be
I mean, I
honest,
gotta get paid for this role.
so the role and then so the role definitely brings some not like stress exactly, but clearly some confrontation.
I'm
And
getting fucking death ill threats.
that and fantasy football mid-season certainly brings on some stress. So it's nice to get that reward.
Yeah, so people were talking shit prior to our draft. We did a live draft, which was unique to us. I don't know why in the year 2021 you will even do a live draft. Makes no sense, especially when the commissioner is not even listening to his own goddamn rules, which makes the live draft completely irrelevant. You can't put a sticker on the board and then put a sticker over the sticker you picked.
That is the perks, I guess, of a live draft. And if everybody around you is okay with it, but to be honest, I wasn't okay with it.
That is not that. Why am I here at this point? I don't. You cannot say with the number one pick, we select LeBron. Yeah, never mind. We select. I don't know. Maybe you could, but like he finished the name, so that was a bad example.
Yeah, no. So what happened? Yeah, in the draft, the kid had like maybe a minute left, less than that. Put the sticker on the board, walked away, found out. I think it was Cam Akers is injured,
broken ankle or something,
broken something, and it won't be playing. It was his first pick, I believe, and he was allowed to put a sticker over it. I don't know. You guys tell me. You think that was cool? You think that wasn't? I don't think it was. The reason they said we were doing a live draft was because it was going to be less time consuming. Meanwhile, the timer was set to 5 minutes. I thought that was crazy. And also
it came out to be the same time. Though.
It was, well, that's so that whether it was longer or the same time.
You had to drive there.
Yeah. Drive there. And I mean, it was a fun experience. I'll do it once.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that again. Especially when I got charged for the board and markers when I didn't want the board and markers and I had to pay to get there.
And then there was people who weren't there who were being called on the phone for their pick. So it was a very interesting draft. We, however, got an A- in our draft. We have the best draft in the 12-man league. And I'm excited.
So am I. It's ironic because there's zero shit talking going on from my end in that league. You're very quiet. I'm trying to be as humble as I possibly can.
Well, apparently that's the thing. When we were drafted, the Fazbro Inc. saying we're all humble here. So I don't know if we're supposed to be humble, if we're supposed to talk shit, or.
Well, I said that. I said that's why Fazbros Inc. over there. They laughed pretty hard because I'm such a dickhead in the other league that when I said I'm humble,
that makes sense. Makes sense. And
they looked at me because I'm a dick, and I'm like, we're humble in this league.
I do love the Faz brothers when they draft. I feel like they are most entertaining to watch while drafting. I feel like they are in a pro level draft and they have like
they just
the pencil in their
cigarettes. They needed a pack of cigarettes.
The pencil in their ear, a pack of cigarettes, and then just on the phone constantly. It's hilarious. And they laughed at our team too, to be honest, which I guess they ain't laughing anymore.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Juju, Jones. I mean, we're chilling. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
The only thing I'm worried about at this point is the injuries.
That is the only thing that I'm worried about. But, for anyone who's listening this far, I just have really two theories that I draft and work around. And thus far, I would say it has proven me right. And I would say three theories. I have three theories.
All right, let's hear them.
One, two heads are better than one while drafting.
I mean, I would agree with that just because you have a little consulting right there. It seemed like most people at this live draft had a duo, or maybe not most, but at least 3 or 4.
I don't think so, but maybe. But I do think that's a thing. And every time I had someone by my side, I typically won the league. Now, second is that I try to get a name or a household player. Household players typically, I feel like, are in favor of doing well. Makes sense, I guess, if they're a household name.
Well, so when you say household name, you really mean a productive player, like a star.
Well, I don't know. You can go down to Juju, and Juju necessarily won't be a star or rated as a star this year, but he's a household name, which means at any moment he could pop off and produce, like Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry is, he's a second receiver, third receiver at times on his own team, but he at times produces, and he's, I would say, is a household name.
He's a household name, but he's lower on the block, so he's not the first man. But he is a beast. I had him end the season last year, and he was a beast. People drop him, and I pick him up. What are you gonna do? To me, so yeah, the draft is obviously crucial, but the waiver wire is to me.
The waiver wire is only good for the first 3 weeks. That's the only times you'll get a gem.
Not necessarily. If someone gets injured, and the second player is now the first string. I mean, it changes. It could definitely change. I picked up some great people in midseason last year, like Jefferson, Claypool.
I typically don't use the wire or trade.
I don't trade often.
I would say because
it's always one side. It's always one side. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just annoying.
I was trying to get Derrick Henry from one of my buddies last year, and he wanted Dalvin Cook. Now I was ready to give him two top receivers. But I'm like, why would I give you a number one running back who potentially is currently better at the moment? Derrick Henry's a beast, so obviously he's worth 2 people. But like, it just didn't make sense. Everyone wants the trade to work out slightly better for themselves, and that's just not really how it works.
No, and people are just so unintelligent to not understand that it has to be beneficial for both parties in different ways. You get better here, I get better here. Let's make this happen.
Yeah, and. It just doesn't work out. I mean, we used to have we've had a collusion in this one league I'm in with the previous commissioner who has been fired pushed a trade through like instantly without it being seen by anyone at like 2 a.m. I was like on my phone. I'm like, what in the world? I text everybody, and that's it. Commissioner John was never commissioner again.
Commissioner fired.
Commissioner fired. Lucky he didn't get kicked out of the league.
That would piss me off. A lot of people do a lot of shady shit when it comes to fantasy football.
It's crazy.
I mean, what's worse, being a pompous asshole or just being sneaky?
If you're sneaky and cheating, that is way worse.
That's what I'm thinking. But you know what? A lot of people would say I'm way worse.
That's because their emotions get involved. People can't control their emotions, man.
It's just funny, man. I told a one dude today because he was just talking shit, and I said my cash is living rent free in his head. So he was just talking more and more shit, and I lost my point, man. Terrible, 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 man. He got just so mad, and it's the irony is that I just closed the chat out and recorded a show on it.
Yeah, and I get in a way it's funny because that is content being created for the show.
Yeah,
and people take it. I mean, that's like radio kind of. I mean, this is a form of like radio in a way, but those personalities, they say things and gather content that definitely get people antsy or mad. That's like their content though. So like, don't be mad if we're gonna talk about it.
I mean, There's nothing negative we're even saying. I mean, if anything,
You know, we're
we're
just
saying at
letting
the
it
end of the
out.
day, it's a character. It means nothing,
Yeah.
and to wish harm upon someone is, ooh, that's a
Nah.
little low.
Yeah, that's not right in my book.
I mean, I guess if you're that offended, though,
If you're that offended, you probably need to check your feelings because you certainly are in them.
that's what I'm saying. I offered him a free gym membership anyway he wants to go.
I mean, I kind of wish I was in this chat just to like experience it, but I don't know. Seems a little hostile.
That's what I said the other day. I said, oh, the Fans Bros, they were saying how we should draft at their house. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know. It's a very hostile league.
Yeah,
And they looked at me like,
you need a security guard, like.
I dead ass feel like if I walk in there, I need to be armed or have someone with me. And like, honestly, if I was to walk in there, which I probably won't because I do feel slightly unsafe, is I would walk in there with a goddamn cape. Just
Oh, that would be something to see, man. That would need to be recorded. That would need to be recorded.
Oh man, walking in with a belt and a cape.
I tell you, people are funny. Fantasy, though, certainly rumbles people's emotions. Three leagues is a lot. I'm in 3 leagues this year. It's
I can't do more than 2. And to be honest, I don't even like doing 2 if I don't even have
another
a partner
person.
for one. Yeah, because like I put so much energy in being this dickhead in this one league and actually trying to be good that like I'm just disinterested in because I mean I'm very into sports. I watch Sports Center multiple, hours a day. I'm in tune with what's going on. But when it comes down to it, I'm not that 30-year-old who's on a softball team that is like so into it.
Yeah, and I mean, and you're probably not like, oh, maybe you are screaming or getting angry when things don't go your way in fantasy football, but
well, no, that's when I don't talk no shit. You can't even find me.
Well, that's why I don't essentially like talking shit because, well, I guess if you haven't won, you really can't talk too much shit. But
well, I didn't talk shit, and then I had a bro. So last year I didn't talk shit for like 2 years because I wasn't in a place to, and everybody made fun of me in my draft last year. My team was wrecking shit. Mm-hmm. Boy, did I come out with a vengeance.
Yeah, I felt like last year we were both kind of like having the same season.
Yeah, that happens.
And hopefully we get that final game this year. It's always fun though.
See, this is where my mentality is different. I don't even care if I win or don't win, as long as I win money. So if I'm in the final game and I lose, I won.
No,
as long as the pot split.
Well, I felt
you may want to win more than I do. You never won.
And also in one of my leagues, there's a belt. Like, you hang a belt up with your name and your team name on it.
Yeah, there's a trophy. There's a trophy. I would have been cool to take it and have that photo and just post it as a response every time someone talks shit.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you say you want to treat it like the WWE. I have a WWE belt that goes around the league.
No,
like,
I hear you. I mean, I would potentially wear that at every event
where the players are,
and they would just get pissed.
Exactly. Oh yeah, more pissed just because you're the heel.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm hated as is. You know what's fascinating though?
What?
I see it becoming real hate. And to me, that's actually kind of sad to watch.
Well, people might not realize how when you like joking switch is turned on and off. Or maybe they think there is no off switch and you're always trying to joke and they don't want that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, people may not know me as me, but it's just crazy to watch, like literal hate form.
It's the same thing.
You just see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with anyone who's in a spotlight and does, people who watch them. They could do something and people are like, oh, I don't like that. And then they do it again. And that's how people hate people they watch. Like, on Instagram, I'm sure everybody has someone that they dislike that they follow.
Which, if that is the case, and I bet you that is the case, and I've been there, talk to that person, try and reach out. I feel like many times they're going to flip your mind state.
Yeah, I mean, you probably whether it's someone you know personally and it was something they did a long, long time ago, probably changed. It's not a thing anymore, or if that's just not who they are. You perceived it a little differently, or maybe it was
I
out of
did
context.
I did have an issue with a music artist a week ago signed to Columbia Records. I tried to get him on the show about 6 months ago. Um, I would say I'm kind of a fan. I like him as an artist. I think he's gonna do something, like he's skilled, right?
Mm.
So excuse me. 6 months ago, I reached out 6 times in a span of 2 weeks, just trying to get his attention. I couldn't. Actually, one of the harder people I couldn't reach out to. Last week, he posted something and someone asked, what guitar is that? He was holding an electric guitar. Now, I've asked on comments previous what kind of guitar that is, referring to an acoustic. I wanted to know what acoustic he was playing. Never answered, but he gets, a shit ton of comments. But he responded to this one guy who asked what electric you're playing, like only the cool kids know, or like something like along those lines, and never gave the value prop. So I responded to him like, yo, let your fans know what guitar you're playing, because we want to know. Like, why can't you tell us that? And why do you have to respond in this manner?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense if people are asking him.
Yeah. So like I kind of suggested it. Now he's kind of like a little peep John, right? So like he sent me a message, a DM. He was like, yo, I don't appreciate being harassed in DMs and in comments. And I just don't like appreciate that, all that. I'm like, whoa. I had to like respond back. I'm like, bro, you could say I'm a fan of your work and your artistry. Like, I did not say anything disrespectful. I didn't mean to. If anything, I gave a suggestion to better connect with, people. And let's not use this term lightly, being harassed. I messaged you 6 months ago, 6 times in a span of 2 weeks, because he was like, if you wanted to talk to me, you should have contacted my management. Like, fuck off, bro. At that point, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm sure your life is that busy. You can't have a conversation.
Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I was wrong in that scenario.
I would say that was not harassment. So yeah,
Not harassment.
I would agree with you. It's not even a question. It's not even a question.
Then I wished him the best and said I'm gonna root for him on the sidelines, and like he liked my shit. And then I kept it moving. But just strange.
Well, he obviously perceived it a little differently. And as we always say, perception is reality. And that's why he came at you with that response.
I hear you. Meanwhile, my other homie, who's an artist, who's got songs with Shaq and his fucking platinum and fucking
he'll answer.
Ross, he fucking commented on my shit today.
Yeah.
So that's like, yo, that's what's up.
Yeah. That was my point. There's people who, at least in the society's eyes, are bigger, that still talk to their people that reach out, or their fans, whatever.
Bro, unless you are crazy talented, if you don't interact or provide value and help people, there's no way you could make it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, to be honest, I love Post Malone, but with his fans, his videos with his fans, it's like the coolest videos. It makes sense.
Him and Lil Uzi are the best fan people.
Yeah, they're like great to their fans. Their fans absolutely love them.
Yeah, man, they have great videos.
Now, it's not like the Kanye cult, but it certainly is.
Let's get into this real quick.
Yeah.
Kanye versus Drake is very entertaining, and I think they're doing what Nas and Jay-Z do, which is drop an album when someone drops an album.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kanye is being petty, although, Drake is coming with these like little diss sentences and fucking songs and shit.
Little digs.
Yeah, so, but Kanye leaking his address, man. Ooh,
I don't know. That don't make sense to me.
That seems like you're wishing ill on someone.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say, this is like reminding me of the fantasy football death threat. I mean, but we all know what happens when you're a celebrity and your address gets put out there. I mean, I guess if you're not in the gang world,
I would imagine everyone knows where. I would imagine that's also on Google, though. I mean,
at least one of them. He's one of his
Toronto house, that fucking $100 million. That's gotta. I'm sure that's public record.
I'm sure it is, but I'm sure it's not easy to get to, or at least inside.
Boy, it's just petty, man, and it's crazy because I don't know I'm pro Drake no matter what. And I think if they
Yes,
released
sir.
an album the same day, Drake would fucking crush him by like 30%. But
That's a big percent.
that's a big percent. But I mean, if Drake sells 200,000 and Kanye sells fucking 160,000,
Yeah.
140, it's still crazy. But I don't know if I like Kanye's marketing here or if I'm against it, to be honest, because he's playing the heel.
Well, Kanye puts everything on the line always. He like is just out there. He doesn't care.
But Drake is so cool about it.
Drake is Drake is one of the coolest guys out there. I mean, I can't think of someone cooler at the moment.
He's been pretty cool for a decade now.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I like Kanye's music, but I'm definitely more of a Drake fan. I do like Kanye's music.
I had an argument. I said Drake is like Michael Jackson. And it was like I said something that was blasphemous. I'm like, are you out of your mind? I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, maybe like just as like completely killing their genre, different genres, right? Because if we're gonna compare Michael Jackson, I would say Chris Brown is the closest to Michael Jackson.
Well, it depends like what you're asking. Did you talk about dance moves? Because Chris Brown. Talking about voice?
Voice and dancing and like
Chris
entertainment.
So you're saying Chris Brown takes the cake on all of them. The R&B genre pretty much.
Yeah. So like, yeah. But like when I compared Michael Jackson to Drake, I was like comparing like the allure, the fame, the like just that
LeBron and MJ.
Hits.
Or like LeBron or really LeBron and Tom Brady. That's a better comparison.
And like it was like what I said was crazy. And then I'm watching Dave and fucking in the show Dave, they pretty much reference that Drake is like one of the best to ever do it.
I mean,
like,
that's known. That is not.
I'm aware. I don't understand. He's got more. He has all the records.
Yeah. He doesn't disappoint. And to be honest, at this point in his career, he still can surprise people with his music. So as long as that continues for a little bit longer.
He's dropping records with Trippie Redd, and I'm like, oh, this transition was sick.
Yeah, I like that song. Trippie. I like Trippie though. So I supported Trippie. I listened to that right away.
Yeah, Trippie's dope. Let's end this show out. I'm gonna go smoke a blunt.
Smoking a blunt.
I'm gonna smoke because RIP to all my haters, all you fucking fantasy football fucking cocksuckers that just fucking have issues with me. At the end of the day, it sucks because I win and you lose.
You hear that? He wins and you lose. I got a quick question for you though. Real quick answer.
Yeah. What's up?
If you could be guaranteed one of these things every day for the rest of your life, which would it be? A $20.
I like that you come in with these like these questions at the end of the show here. What you got?
A $20 bill, a blunt with $20 worth of high quality legal weed, or sex. You're guaranteed one of these things every day.
Do I have to have it if I'm guaranteed it?
No, you could deny it.
All right. Every day for the rest of my life?
Yes.
I mean, you probably it's an easy question. Just like logically, you gotta take $20. That's $140 a week.
$7,280 a year.
Yeah. So like but like the sex is something that you may want to question.
You
may not want it every day, but you want the option.
I knew that's the one you were referring to when you said, "Can I deny it? Do I have to have?" Because then at that point you're probably like hurting, not like, "Oh no." Like you're trying to do that shit.
Man, when I was doing the math real quick, I'm like $20, $140 a week. I'm like, that's not nothing. I'll take that. I'll take sex over that. But then as I'm thinking the compound and forever, I'm like, whoa, that's no question.
Well, this really wasn't supposed to be a pass or fail, but I feel like somehow you passed.
Thanks, man. I mean, to be honest, I think all these questions, I
you nailed it, kid.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Fuck you, players in my league.